Today we are going to make a Pokemon Black and White retrospective, or more likely just the white version because that's what I played. A few things I won't. Normally I try to replicate the team I had back in the day. I just remember half my team. But the problem is that back in the day I had a Victini from the pre-order purchase, and I don't know how to activate cheats in this game to get the Liberty Island, so we will substitute it with a similar Pokemon that does a similar role to Victini. So we are not picking the Fire Starter because nobody likes Tepic, and we don't want another firefighting type. And why do I start this let's play now? Okay, what do we call ourselves? I didn't think about it before making this. Let's call ourselves someone. Not really creative, but it will do the job for now. So these are our friends, but nobody gives a fuck. A few curiosities. This game used to be my favorite Pokemon game for a while because you had a completely fresh experience, both for newcomers and old timers, because all the Pokemon in the main storyline are completely new Pokemon. So the playing field for all players are similar. In a case where it fails to capture the feeling of playing Pokemon for the first time and using a complete new sets of Pokemon, that most of the Pokemon are pretty much clones of previous Pokemon. Some are more useful than others, but you have your rodents, which are in every game. You have another super replacement, which is just as annoying. You have a Geodude lookalike, you have a Machop lookalike, so it doesn't really feel that well. No, we are not playing Tepic, we are going to use Oshawott because I chose Oshawott on my run. The disappointment that it is another mono water type was immeasurable. It was fine back. You can't give it a nickname. Or did I skip it? As usually I just skip the nickname part, but well, doesn't really matter. The reason I start this let's play is to talk about remakes specifically and the state of Pokemon right now. And it's not something I enjoy, to be honest. Tackle in this game is 100% hit rate, and it has 50 base power for some reason. I just thought I just mentioned that. I already thought Scratch in Generation 2 was really overpowered. Ooh, that crit. What? We lost to Bianca? Lol. Okay. That's what? I got absorbed in my Pokemon room before I even realized. I have to take a look around. I thought we are going to. And this is weird. Okay. So we kinda lost to Bianca. I didn't even know that's possible, but I guess that happened. Now we are going to fight Snivy, who has a type advantage, but again that doesn't matter because we nobody has that moves. But if we defeated Tapik at that point, we could have gotten some experience. This is also luck based anyway, so it really doesn't matter. You can see that Snivy is so bad in this game. They didn't really thought about how it should play out. Do all these Pokemon know Tackle? Normally you have Tackle, you have Pound, and other no Scratch, but I guess not. I guess we will make up for losing to Tapik by taking out the Snivy. Because Snivy sucks. And it's disappointing because I like Snivy the most of these starters, especially for its hidden ability. Speaking of hidden abilities, they suck in this game because you can't get hidden ability Pokemon without the synchronizing to Pokemon Global something and get it through the internet, and the servers are down from that thing, so you can't get any hidden ability Pokemon besides one specific Pokemon, and that Pokemon's hidden ability is god awful. I'm talking about Darmanitan, and to get that Darmanitan you need a Rage Cookie or something. So back to the topic about Pokemon remakes, and I want to talk about why I specifically don't want a Generation 5 remake, despite me liking Generation 5 probably the most of all generations mainline games. Generally my favorite generation is Generation 2, but I'm not here to debate it. Wait, what's... Oh yeah, we have to talk to the professor. Great, we have to go. Where did Bianca go? I didn't pay attention. He came out from this home, so that means this home has to be from Bianca. We have to listen to the dad scolding her as she runs away, and oh, that part was embarrassing. I don't really care what the parents say. Back then it didn't really matter for me at all. Generation 5 was the first generation that got me into competitive, and a lot of the Pokemon in these games are min-max stat wise. They are pretty much made for competitive, as Generation 4 was the generation that made competitive really popular, so to make the new Pokemon really appealing, most of them got really relatively busted stats. I call them samurai. So that Samu. I wanted to... I forget what was it. I don't even know what the final stage is supposed to be, what animal it's supposed to be. A water doggo? Screw it. I just call it samurai, it doesn't really matter. Nobody is going to pay attention about or care about the creativity of my Pokemon names. And so Generation 5, with the state of remakes generally, especially with the cutting Pokemon and stuff, I don't feel comfortable getting a remake in general, and specifically Generation 5 it's not a generation that would benefit from a remake, because it's a continuing story of games. If anything, Generation 5 would benefit more from a prequel or another sequel, focusing on the true dragon, Reshiram and Zekrom used to be one, and Kyurem generally is just a leftover from the main dragon, somehow turning into a separate Pokemon. I don't know what's that supposed to mean, but we will talk about Kyurem in if we tackle the sequel of this game. Why can't we run? This is just annoying. Are we going to get some Pokeballs? And generally, yes, a sequel is something that's the most benefiting for these kinds of games instead of a remake. Because what are you going to do by giving these games a remake? If they aren't in the modern gen engine, it will just be a worse looking Gen 5 game, because they will replace the pretty expressive sprite art with lifeless 3D models. And anyone who played the Gen 4 remakes, really, if Ilka or whatever the hell happened, because Masudo, like always, was in charge, even if it's not a Game Freak developed game. It was a complete mess. You may get some quality of life improvements, and some hidden ability Pokemon will be more accessible, like in modern games, but in terms of story gameplay and in-game experience, it will definitely be a less impressive version of the original. Like, you can say what you want about the Gen 3 remakes, at least it had an identity of its own. Like, they cut the Battlefront here, but at least it's 3D. You have the Delta episode. You don't need a special event to get deluxes. You can catch a bunch of Pokemon in these games. Getting competitive teams for a competitive battle is relatively easy. You have the super secret bases, which is an inferior version of secret bases, but bigger, so you can make your own. You can make mildly a gym battle, but gym team or whatever. Probably not now anymore, because again, the way these things are generated is gone. But there are still some QR codes online you can use to fill your Pokédex with encounters, or you can get some Blissey bases to grind your Pokemon easily to level 100. I think if you have around 5 secret bases with Blissey, you can grind your entire team to level 100 after letting them kill themselves. Okay, let's heal here for just because I have to think which Pokemon we are going to catch. I think Pidove we have to catch, because I had a Pidove in my run. One of, if not the worst regional bird ever. I think we also going to catch a Damanitan, because Damanitan is such a broken Pokemon. Like, it's really in game it's S tier. And a Flare Blitz with Sheer Force boosted Flare Blitz hits harder than a Kyurem Black's Outrage. That's the amount of power we are talking about. Let's talk to this guy. Do we need more Pokeballs? I don't want to buy anything. Yeah. Can we get our running shoes? Oh yeah, here's Team Plasma. I really don't care about Team Plasma. Um, they are probably the team with the most depth in terms of motivation, but overall, really, I don't play Pokemon for this story. It's nice to have it. I won't complain. We have some neat rivals. Anna's hidden in the crowd, listening to what these wannabe Peters say. But we will talk about, like always, about the Pokemon instead. Honestly, speaking, this generation really is this generation kind of represents a lot of things I don't like about Pokemon. You have your firefighting starter, which stopped happening, luckily, but we still had a quadrupedal turning into bipedal fire starters. Even if in the terms of design, it just doesn't make sense. Why do these cats turn into two-legged furries? It's just uncomfortable. With Chimchar, it kinda made sense because monkeys are seen on two legs, and while it does feel stuff, it doesn't feel like a furry. It still feels like an actual animal. And because we didn't grind, we might lose this battle too. Look at that scratch damage, and we still can't. Yeah, we lost this one. I should have grinded a bit, but whatever. This might be the first time I lost 2 battles from the start. Yeah, we lost. Yeah, this kinda can't. This is the first time this happens to me. Because I don't grind in the world, but yeah, whatever. Oh yeah, the cutscene it needs to play out again. So because we didn't get the experience from fighting Tepig, we didn't get to the next level, so we have a huge disadvantage. So I think we have to grind a little bit, get some unnecessary IVs to unnecessary stats. Yeah, this should give us one, and we will I will grind off screen and we will talk about the rest of my concern next time. See you later, everyone.